Being Royal here from the Harvey Media Center team, and today I will be showing you how to set up and use this Fender speaker system. It's one of the many pieces of equipment we have for people to rent out and use. In addition, I'll be showing you how to set up some of the accessories that it commonly comes with, which is the speaker stand and the wired mic kit that we have here. All right, let's get right into it. All right, so the Fender speaker system always comes with this black dolly that you see here. It makes it easy for people to transport it to whatever venue location that they need the Fender to go. So whenever you pick it up and return it, make sure this is always with it. So the first step that we're going to do for setting it up is take it off the dolly, put that somewhere safe where you won't forget it. So this is the actual Fender speaker system itself. It has 3 different parts. In order to get each part off, what you're going to want to do is unlatch these top latches right here. There's one on each side, like that. And now we can take the actual speakers off and away from the main control panel. Okay, now that the system is disassembled, you can see that it is truly 3 separate parts. These 2 identical parts are the speakers themselves. This is where the sound comes out. And this is the center control panel. It allows you to control various things like the volume, the bass, the treble. It allows you to plug in various devices and get the sounds out from each of those devices. As well, it has a Bluetooth option, or you can go the old-fashioned way and use a cord. More importantly, it is the first step in our process because in the back here, it houses the cords that we need. So you can undo this latch right there, and all your cords that you will need to power the system and connect the system are housed in here. So first things first, you're going to see this 3-prong DC cord. It plugs in right to this back panel right here where you see the 450 watt input power option. And you are going to plug it in to there. Make sure it's off. All right, so we're going to take our power cord and we're going to plug it in to our power outlet. Again, you're going to want to make sure that the device is turned off before you plug it in to avoid any damage to the device. Also, if you are using an extension cord like we are here, you're going to want to make sure that either it is a singular extension cord like this one, so that the Fender speaker is the only one that can be plugged into it, or if it does have multiple different outlets, you're going to want to make sure that it is surge protected. This Fender speaker system produces a lot of amps. It draws a lot of power in, and sometimes that can short circuit things or make things behave weird on the electrical side. So we're going to want to make sure we're safe because this does, like I said, pull a lot of power in from the outlets. So now that we have the control panel plugged in and set roughly where it's going to be during the event because it can't go too far from the power outlet, you're going to want to set the actual speakers. Now for this, you're going to put one on the right, one on the left, and make sure that they are about equidistant from each other, or from the control panel rather. And then also what I like to do is I like to point them towards the center of the room. This way that helps to eliminate any dead spots or dead zones within the audio landscape. So now we can go back to the back of the control panel and we're going to pull out these 2 speaker cables. There's one for each speaker. As you can see on the back of this, there's a left and a right speaker output. These are where the cords are going to plug into. So you're going to take one and plug it into the right, and you're going to take the other one and plug it into the left. Now from here, the other end of the cable goes into the actual speaker. So there's a little input in the front. You just plug it right into there. And then plug the other one into the other side, right in the front. So now our system is set up, it's ready to go. Now we can actually go ahead and turn it on. So now the system is primed, it's ready to go, everything's set up, it's good. No sound is going to be coming out at this point because no devices are plugged in. If you turn the volume all the way up, you might hear a faint static, little buzz. That's okay, just turn it back down. But yes, at this point we are set up and we are ready to go. Okay, real quick, I want to talk about setting up these speaker stands in conjunction with the Fender speaker system. So the first thing you're going to want to do, locate this knob all the way on the bottom and loosen it, but keep it in this little socket. From here, you should be able to pull apart the legs like that, pull it down, get it to whatever size you need, and then tighten this back as much as you can. Boom. So now our base is set. The legs are locked in place. From here, I like to loosen this top knob and then take out this metal stopper. Now, find about where you want it to be and put the stopper back into the notch and then let it drop. Okay, so it should be resting on this metal bar. Now tighten this top screw back. Okay, so now it's secure. You can't pull it, you can't lower it. Now we can take our speaker and we simply put it right onto the top bar. There's a little hole on the bottom, so it just slides right in. And yes, common question is, yes, it can be a little loose, but that is completely okay. That's how it's supposed to be. So now that's set up, and you can take your speaker cable, you can plug it into the front, you can angle it again towards the center, how you want it to be, and you would simply just repeat the process with the other speaker. Okay, so now we're going to talk about connecting devices to the control panel so you can actually get some sound out. But first, let's talk about what we have here so you can understand better how to use it before we plug anything in. So if you look here, the first thing you'll notice is that there's 6 different channels. Technically 7 because this last one can operate as stereo or mono, but 6 tangibly. So these first 5 is where you can plug in things like mics, instruments. It has XLR and TRS or TS cable inputs. This 5th one is specifically TS or TRS input. So those are things like, guitars, pianos. XLR cables are usually reserved for mics. You can plug it to any of these first 4 or 5 inputs. This last input is where you'll see your Bluetooth option, and then also the classic 3.5 millimeter aux cord is where you can plug it into the last one. Up top, you have a master volume knob and then your output levels. So you're going to want to monitor these output levels just a bit and make sure it's not going into the red, or else that can cause peaking and that can make your audio cut in and out and just overall degrade the quality. So you might have to cut it down just a little bit to avoid going in the red. And the more channels you add, the more inputs you add, that's going to add to the overall sound, the overall noise. So then that's going to cause it to go more so in the red. So you're going to want to be careful about how much you have plugged in and how loud each thing is contributing to the overall sound. Now, how do we do that? Well, as you see, each channel has its own options or settings that you can control. The first thing is it has its own individual volume. Below that, you have treble, then bass, then reverb. To the bottom, you have a mic or line input option, which we'll talk about in a second. And then on the very bottom is where you'll actually plug in your cable. So either XLR or TS, TRS. Then each channel at the top also has this indicator that will either be green or red. It'll flash green when there is sound. If it flashes red, that means this individual channel is peaking and it's too loud and the volume needs to be cut down. Now that we understand the basics of the control panel, let's plug some devices in and get it working. So what we're going to plug in first is one of our wired mic kits. So in this kit, it comes with 2 microphones and 2 XLR cables. So as the name states, it is wired. So what you're going to want to do, we'll just take one out for this example. So the XLR cable has 2 sides to it. It has a female and a male. The male is the one with the prongs, and the female is the one with the inserts. So you're going to take the female side, and you're going to plug it into the mic. Now you're going to want to line up these prongs with the inserts, and it should slide right in. You should hear a little click. Now we can take the other end and we'll plug it into the bottom input right there. Okay, so now this little mic line switch at the bottom, as you can see, it shows the mic as having no light and the line input as having a flashing light, or solid light rather. Since we are using a mic, we obviously want the mic option. If you were using something like an aux cord or instrument, so a TS cable, you'd want the line option, and you simply press that. Now it's solid. Now it's on the line setting, but we're using a mic, so we want the mic setting. So now let's test, make sure our mic works. Hello, hello, testing, 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 testing. As you can see, it works. We have our flashing green light up here. We have the output showing our signals. It is not too high, it's not peaking, so we're good to go. So lastly, let's talk about connecting Bluetooth devices to the Fender speaker. So on channel 6, you have the Bluetooth option all the way down here. There's a button marked Bluetooth. So we're going to press that one time, and it's going to go into pairing mode. Might have to press it again. And it's going to start flashing blue. Now we can go to our phone or whatever device you have. Go to your settings, find the Bluetooth option. And it should be something under other devices or new devices. You should see Passport Event Series, in this case 2, pop up. But it'll be Passport Event Series. You'll click on that, and now it'll be connected. Okay, now if we look at channel 6, we see that the Bluetooth button has a solid blue light. That means our device is connected as expected, and we should be good to go. But just to test it, let's crank the volume up a little bit, and let's make sure there is sound coming out as we expect. Okay, so there is sound coming out. We have our green indicator light, nice and green. Our output was not peaking, so we're good to go. There was sound coming out the left and right speakers, so everything is as expected. So now, when you're taking apart the system, make sure the first thing you do is turn it off. Okay? You heard it powered down. There might be a little click. You're good. There's no light. It is off. Now you can take out the cords, unplug them, and make sure they go back in this back compartment that you found them in. And we'll shut the box. Shut the back panel. Make sure no cords are sticking out. Now, you can put each of the speakers back on the side, and they clip right back into place. Push that down. Boom. Get the other one, same thing. Clip it back into place. Now you're good to go. So like I said at the beginning, each Fender speaker system comes with a black dolly. So make sure it goes back on the dolly and they get returned as one when you return it to the media center. But that is all I have. That was how to set up and use the Fender speaker system. Come stop by the media center sometime, see what we have, use the spaces. Hope you guys enjoyed. Catch you in the next one.